Good evening. Good to have you with us on this edition of the Urban Debate. We continue to track our big story, and that is what's going to happen to the farmers' protest. 26 January, viewers, was the day when everything turned on its head, when agreements and pacts were broken, violence and chaos was unleashed across this national capital. And now, tension continues to rise at the various protest sites at the border areas of the national capital, the places where farmers have been camping since November. It was first the Ghaziabad authorities who issued an ultimatum in a way to the farmers to vacate the Ghazipur border by tonight. However, one of the biggest farm leader faces of this protest, Rakesh Tikait, says the farmers will not vacate the protest site and will continue with their dharna. Meanwhile, in Singhu, police officials are also closing down the entry and exit routes connecting the main stage of the protest site. Earlier in the day, we actually saw locals for the first time come out to this protest site and demand that roads that are blocked because of the farmers' protest be opened up. They demanded that the farmers vacate that area. So at every one of these sites now, there are fast-paced developments. 3 groups have exited the protest, called it off and gone home. The mother group of farmer groups continues, but one by one, it seems to be splittering, withering away. UP government wants all of the protest sites in Uttar Pradesh to be vacated by tonight. Let's get you the latest first before we go on to our big conversation. But first up, to Alok and Ayushman, who've been non-stop covering this protest now for 3 months straight. And I don't know if Alok, if you're getting a sense if the end game is near or are farmers still insistent. What's happening right now in Ghazipur where there was a massive standoff, Alok? Can you hear me?
The massive standoff may happen at Ghazipur because the administration is completely geared up. First, I would like to show you what is happening at the police side. There you can see large number of police force and huge number of police personnel you can see on the road. This is Ghaziabad National Highway 24. Connecting road of Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, one of the prominent roads where these farmers are sitting for past 2 months. And on the other side, the farmers' stage and their tractor trolleys, their tents, all are over here. If you are going towards, if you want to go towards Delhi from Ghaziabad side, you cannot go at all. But if you want to come towards from the Delhi side towards Ghaziabad, you can do. But right now, both the roads are completely shut because at one side, the Uttar Pradesh police is standing because Uttar Pradesh administration has given them the ultimatum to leave this site within by tonight. By tonight means that by midnight. And in fact, an hour ago, the administration officials also came here. They tried to talk to the protesting farmers. Rakesh Tikait, who is the farmer leaders from Uttar Pradesh, he is leading this protest site, and in fact, he and his and the other farmers forced the police officers to go and leave this protest site, and in fact, this stage as well. Now, the police officers, when they came here, they served the notice also and asking them to leave this site because lot of people are facing lot of problem, traffic problem, lot of sound pollution is happening, lot of dirt is happening all around this particular area. So people across this around this area, they are complaining about this protest site, this protest, and that is why they have to leave. This is the reason that the administration has given to the farmers. In fact, there are farmers. I would like to show you now. After when the police officers came here, the leaders were speaking from the stage, and they said that they are not going to leave this site. Rakesh Tikait himself said in Hindi he said that मर जाएंगे लेकिन जाएंगे नहीं यहाँ से, फांसी लगा लेंगे लेकिन जाएंगे नहीं। क्यों सर, क्या कहेंगे आप लोग, क्या करेंगे अभी, क्योंकि पुलिस जिस तरीके से इकट्ठी हो गई है?
कोई बात नहीं, पुलिस अपना जो करती है वो कर रही है, उसको शासन का आदेश है, सरकार का आदेश है, सरकार जो उनसे करे वो करे। हम यहाँ से नहीं हटेंगे, गोली चलाए, डंडा बरसाए, हम सब कुछ खाने को।
कहाँ से आए हैं सर आप?
हम यूपी से।
कौन से डिस्ट्रिक्ट?
जिला बरेली है, तहसील बहेड़ी है हमारी।
अच्छा, कितने दिन से हैं यहाँ पर?
हम 5 तारीख से, अब 25 तारीख से पीछे जब से ये धरना चालू हुआ तब से।
आप 2 महीने से? हाँ जी। क्या चेंजेस आ रहा है? कुछ लोग कम हुए, बढ़े हैं?
कोई नहीं कम हुआ है,
कोई नहीं। हमने देखा 26 जनवरी को बहुत सारे लोग
मनाने आए थे, क्रिसमस मनाने आए थे, चले गए।
लेकिन आप लोग जो हैं तो हैं।
हम हमारे आज भी 4-6 बंदे आज भी आए हैं
जी। क्या कह रहे हैं?
मैं सर पहुंच चुके हैं, सुबह पब्लिक और आ जाएगी।
सुबह पब्लिक और आ जाएगी,
बिल्कुल।
लेकिन यहाँ तो आप लोग को
यहाँ से जाएगी नहीं,
रात में ही खाली करवा देंगे।
नहीं जाएगी,
खाली करेगा
जी,
नहीं खाली जाएगा,
यहाँ खाली नहीं।
Okay, you heard the voices of these farmers basically from Uttar Pradesh. At this protest site, farmers from Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, basically, they have gathered here, and also from Rajasthan as well. I would like to show you the tractor trolleys now here parked. In fact, from this stage, that announcement was made, bring the tractor trolley in the front side, front portion of the protest site, and that is why the tractor trolleys have now moved. In fact, you can see the farmers are also sitting over here on the ground with the blankets as well. So they have completely made the camp all around, and around 2 kilometers from this stretch, around 2 kilometers, the farmers are sitting on the road. Every nook and corner, the farmers are there. So definitely, but the police administration is trying to persuade the farmers right now to leave this place. Now the situation is completely, what we can say, confrontation kind of situation may happen, because ultimatum has been given till midnight. Persuasion exercise had happened. Maybe after a few minutes, again the police officers will come and try to ask these farmers, especially Rakesh Tikhet, to ask his men to leave this place. But what we are sensing, that the farmers are not going to leave.
All right, Alok, thanks so much for joining us for now and bringing us those voices. The farmers there at Ghazipur very clearly saying that they are not going to leave, they are not going to go. We will have to wait and watch what happens in the next couple of hours. The deadline given is by tonight. That these protesters at the Ghazipur side, at least where Alok is, will have to vacate the premises. Ayushman is at Singhu border. Let's go across to him as well. Ayushman, what's the situation at Singhu? Earlier in the day, we were told that because the roads have been blocked in such a way that getting water and food to the protest site has also become difficult.
Yes, Tanvi. In fact, right now, the place where I am today, for the first time, we saw a counter protest against the farmer protest here. The people came and protested against this protest. They wanted these people to vacate this place. For the first time, two significant changes we are witnessing here, Tanvi. First is that the tents inside the area where we are standing right now, the police tent that has been reduced significantly, though the paramilitary forces and police deployment has been increased, but the tents which were placed inside, they have been reduced. The lanes and the areas and roads connecting to the both sides. This is one of the Kisan Mazdoor Sangharsh Samiti's tent, which connects to the other side of Sanyukt Kisan Morcha's tent. These two tents are where the protest is taking place. In the middle, there is about 100 meters where people used to frequently come and go. Now, what has happened, Tanvi? Police has closed all the road and every bylane from where people can go from one side to other. Also, anyone coming towards Singhu is not permitted without about 3 kilometers. The vehicle is having no entry zone. So definitely the police has tried to tighten the noose here, and all those people who were earlier frequently moving in this side, we have seen many a times it was a no gathering zone. For the first time here protest happened, and also roads connecting between two of the protest site, they have been closed right now. This has been for the first time this has happened, though we are not going to see something like what we are seeing in Ghazipur, but the deployment of security has increased, and police has clearly said that the area where the protesters are there, they will stay there only. They don't need to come out because roads are closed for that purpose only.
All right, Ayushman and Alok, thanks so much for joining us for now. We will keep coming back to you for more updates. But let me also tell our viewers that the other development that we saw today was opposition parties coming together to say they're going to be boycotting the president's address, which marks the beginning of this budget session, and it's supposed to be tomorrow. Budget session starts tomorrow then, and on 1st of February, the government will be producing and presenting the union budget. But how is that going to help? How is boycotting the president's address, the president who holds a constitutional post and an apolitical post, how is that going to help in making any kind of a point? Is that the right way to go forward, even as we witness what's going on at the ground level? Let's say good evening to Tuhin Sinha, leader of the BJP, Madhugaur Dyaski, spokesperson and former member of Parliament of the Lok Sabha for Congress Party, Satyaprakash, leader of the JDU, Dr. Fuad Halim of the CPIM, Mahesh Tapase of the NCP. I want to go across first to Mr. Yaski and ask him this question. Why boycott the president's address? Surely we know you will be raising this issue in Parliament in both of these houses and insisting on a debate on the farm laws. But what purpose does this serve?
Yes, Tanvi, we do respect the chair of the president, but the farm laws were passed without a due process of law. I can say that with the 10 years of my experience in the Parliament. When the custodian of the Indian Constitution, the Supreme First Citizen of India, failed to protect, Congress gave a slogan of Jai Kisan, Jai Jawan, but unfortunately under the BJP Modi government rule, it has become Mar Rahe Jawan, Mar Rahe Kisan. Over 175 Kisan farmers have died. Over 60 days, the agitation is going peacefully under due democratic process. If you look at the last monsoon session, how the laws were passed with a voice vote, both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, all we demanding, including the RSS Kisan Sangh, BKS, they also recommended the Modi government to send it to at least to the standing committee. But government was not in a mood to listen. These laws were brought in as an ordinance, later passed in the Parliament with the brutal force of majority which they have. So why the Congress is fighting or the opposition are boycotting the presidential speech? I can tell you, Tanvi, I myself a member of Parliament, raised voice of Telangana when we were not heard in spite of ruling party members. We raised the slogans and President of India was speaking at that point of time. Why? Because as a member of Parliament, our duty to protect or take the voice of the people to the Parliament, the supreme body, the temple of democracy, which is trampled by the BJP government, all the democratic institutions in this country today. So what I'm trying to say here, the government is more keen, Modi ji, Jio, but Kisanon ko bhi jeene do. The duty of the government should be not just the protecting rights of the Jio.
Okay.
But what we're saying, let the farmers also jeene do. We are worried about the Garib, Kisan, Chote Mazdoor, Logon ko bhi jeene do. That's where the ultimate decision is taken to boycott the presidential address.
Okay, but from where I see it, the laws are in suspension. The government is still willing to talk to the farmers, is at the negotiation table, and you still have, the entire budget session to discuss and debate farm laws. And a case is there in court. You have the Supreme Court to look towards about the passing of the laws. But Tuhin Sinha, your response to what the Congress is saying right now, their decision to boycott this because they say you ran the laws through the Parliament in the last session.
Well, this is an irresponsible opposition which looks for excuses and alibis to bunk Parliament. Let me put this straight. Even on the day when the farm laws were passed, you can verify it yourself, the NCP and Shiv Sena had already walked out even before the law was tabled. They were not a part of the discussion. Derek O'Brien, who created anarchy that day, is a serial offender. If you check his behavior on the day the Telangana bill was introduced 7 years ago under a different central government, he had behaved absolutely in the same manner. And Rahul Gandhi is an absentee MP. So for a man, if you look at the Congress behavior 2 years ago, when
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Sinha. Let me make it a point before quickly. I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me tell you, I was a member of Parliament representing Telangana. We allowed the leader of opposition, Sushma Swaraj ji, to speak before the Telangana bill was passed.
So are you trying to justify the act of tearing a bill? Are you trying to normalize it? Anyway, let me complete. got your time to speak. So even in the Rafale discussion 2 years ago, when the then Defense Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was making her point, we have seen the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, winking and making paper aeroplanes. That is the seriousness which this opposition gives to Parliament. So I'm not surprised if they decide to boycott tomorrow's presidential address, but I would think they should reconsider this, because simply to show that they condemn what happened at Red Fort, and simply to stand with the government which has gone out of the way to support farmers over here.
Okay, let me get in our other panelists, because this is the question I want to ask Dr. Fuad Halim also. Dr. Fuad Halim, there is, with the BJP, when they say that many of the parties were not even present when the laws were passed. But even if you say that you want to debate it, you want to give it more time, you want to pressurize the government into taking a decision on this, all of that can be done in the session. What is the urgency, or what is the message you are trying to send by boycotting the president's address?
Well, the message sent by the Prime Minister of India to the farmers is that an agent provocator who has clicked himself in the Prime Minister's residence beside him is somebody who is still not nabbed for the fiasco that took place in front of Red Fort. Then the signal sent by Amit Shah, who was also seen with the same agent provocator in Facebook posts and photographs clicked within the office or the residence of Amit Shah himself. That signal itself tells you that to what low levels the Bharatiya Janata Party and the government of the day can actually stoop to in the context of the farmers' laws. We've already seen it. In the midst of COVID, when COVID was absolutely running rampant, the Prime Minister calls Parliament into session and passes laws in favor of his cronies, Adani and Ambani. Again, when he does not have the courage to face Parliament, he doesn't call the winter session.
Those laws are in suspension right now.
Those laws are in suspension because of the farmers' movement. Let's be. It's not because the government has. Yeah. And the Honorable Court has already told the government that it is not going to play its what you call game out. That is why the government is on the back foot.
Yeah, but surely the arrest of Deep Sidhu is not going to get you back into the parliament to hear the presidents and show courtesy to the president of this country.
The arrest of Deep Sidhu is the minutest of issue.
Correct.
The actions of Deep Sidhu are something that we need to talk about. How does somebody who gets protection of his farmers' union within the police lines? There was a barricade over there, and Deep Sidhu and his farmers, what you call cronies, they get protection from the police during this farmers' agitation when he was identified, isolated, and told very categorically that your union and you shall have no role in this. How does this, what you call, part of the farmers, what you call, rally, which was not authorized by the Sangharsh Samiti, gets into Delhi under police tutelage, reaches Red Fort, and that gate remains closed. That gate was not supposed to be opened. Who opened those gates? That has to be answered by the administration. And one has to be very clear that the pussy, what you call, gloves that were held by the administration around Red Fort when these people run rampant over there, that has to be clarified by the government.
Okay.
You have shown footage where the other protesters, the others which were actually in sync with the government, those farmers were attacked by the police, those farmers were beaten, they were assaulted by the police, even though they were maintaining the discipline agreed upon. There are two sides of the story.
Mr. Fuad Halim, Dr. Fuad Halim, I would say that, in a riot-like situation, all of us have to ensure we don't form our judgments basis a 30-second or a 1 minute or a 2-minute clip. You can't. Now, unless you have an entire sequence of events where you say that the farmers were beaten up unprovoked by the Delhi police while they were being peaceful, let's not go there, please. When the evidence is there, we will definitely do a conversation on it.
Of the government exposed. The Prime Minister stands exposed today. The Home Minister stands exposed today. The Bharatiya Janata Party stands exposed today. There is no conversation of having a second opinion.
Okay.
Deep Sidhu walked in the Prime Minister's residence. He gained access to the Prime Minister, and he is the one who is culpable for the fiasco in front of Red Fort.
Okay. But let me get in Satya Prakash as well of the JDU. Mr. Satya Prakash, the opposition says, Yes, Dr. Fuad Alim, I'm getting a response. Mr. Satyaprakash, the opposition says that the government needs to take accountability also for the violence that unfolded. Who allowed some of these rioters to go ahead? Who left the gate open? Who gave them the free path to go inside the national capital and create ruckus?
So when the All Farmer Committee demanded for a kind of parade in Delhi on Republic Day, it was allowed by the police on the commitment of peaceful protest. But some miscreants and history of any movement of India tells us that every movement creates certain kind of violence. But this time, the boundaries were crossed. It should not have happened. But allegation against the government, that the government created it, and government is part of that. It is a figment of imagination of opposition parties. They are basically trying to create a kind of political situation where they don't want to resolve the issue. Government wanted to resolve the issue by the tail talks. It is a democracy. The government willing to talk on every state. And still, if there is a presidential address, the opposition 16 party led by the Congress, 15 party led by the Congress is boycotting the president address. That is the constitutional address and rights of the president under Article 87 of the Indian Constitution. If they believe in the Constitution, why they don't participate in the president address? Why they are shying away? Because they don't have anything
can I
to
come
say
in?
later on. Oh yeah, don't interrupt. I never interrupted you.
No, I'm not asking you, Janab. I'm asking the anchor. Can I come
Yaski,
in?
let him finish his point. I will come to you.
I beg you, sir. I beg you. I never interrupted.
Please
My point is very simple. Everybody is concerned about the rights of the farmer.
Yeah.
The government is to the demand that let suspend the bill for 1 and 5 years. The farmer didn't agree. Government allowed the democratic protest in Delhi. If some miscreant enter, who were they? Police investigating the case. And you are blaming the government participated in the violence. What kind of person? I can't understand it. What kind of allegation you are making? Are you highly irresponsible comment against the constitutionally elected government of India, which is holding tomorrow the presidential address? You are highly irresponsible 15 party led by the Congress that you are boycotting. What is? No.
Is somebody who was the police scanner. It should be somebody who should be identified immediately. You can arrest 200 farmers. You cannot arrest Deep Sidhu up till now. Sir, who are you trying to protect? Are you trying to protect the person?
Okay. One at a time. Okay, all right. Madhugaud Yaski wanted to make a point, and then I'll get a response to what Fuad Alim is asking. Yes, Mr. Yaski first. Yeah.
Let me quickly enlighten my friend who has just spoken. The presidential address, the speech. Janab, please listen to me. Please listen to me. I heard you. I didn't interrupt you. What I'm trying to tell you, I have 10 years experience as a parliament and I'm a lawyer.
Mr. Satyaprakash, hold on for a minute. Mr. Satyaprakash, let's get a response to what you're saying. Let's get a response, Mr. Satyaprakash. Yes.
Let me educate this gentleman.
Yes.
The speech which will be read by His Excellency the President is written by the government and approved by the Council of Ministers. President of India has the right to exercise his independent right to investigate the deep conspiracy behind the Deep Sidhu, which is not doing it. When the 175 farmers have been killed, His Excellency can reach out to the farmers and listen to it. All my appeal to the Prime Minister Modi ji, he tweets on birthdays. Can't he have a time to reach out these farmers who've been hesitating in the cold? Last 61 days and over 175 farmers have died. They were doing it peacefully, democratically. Can't he reach out to them? So when the oppositions led by the same 16 party oppositions opposed in the parliament, all they requested to debate it. All these opposition parties requested to the Prime Minister and the NDA government to refer to the standing committee. Where was the urgency to pass these laws without even discussion in the parliament? You strangled the voice of the opposition. You didn't even allow them to speak. Now you're accusing them of tearing up the bill. What else we can do when you're not allowed even to speak?
Mahesh Tapase,
go
before
back
I
to the-
get...
go
All
back
right,
to the
Mr.
room.
Yaski, I'll get a response in just a bit. Yes, Mr. Satyaprakash, just calm down. I just need to get in Mahesh Tapase as well. He's not spoken so far. The response and the charge from the BJP was that parties like NCP weren't even present when there was voting. You had already decided to, get out of the place and not even be present for the vote. So why are you now protesting?
The BJP is free to spread lies as much as they want. If they're talking about Mr. Pawar, yes, Mr. Pawar was not present because a serious Maratha reservation was underway in Mumbai. But as far as our stand on the farm law is, we totally oppose. We opposed it in the Lok Sabha, we opposed it in the Rajya Sabha. We demanded a joint parliamentary committee, which the incumbent government totally denied. They overruled the entire demand of the opposition and hurriedly passed the. And the fallout of this is what we are seeing from the last 2.5 months across Delhi. So the first demand was that abolition, total abolition of the 3 draconian farm laws which the Modi government has introduced. Farmers have their ways, the parliamentarians have their own ways to protest. So by boycotting the presidential address is a symbolic form of protest against the farm laws.
It's a symbolic protest against the farm law, says the NCP. Instead of a symbolic protest, why don't we see the opposition parties simply debate it when it comes to the floor or when we are in the house having a conversation about it? Fuad Halim wanted to make a point and then Tuhin Sinha can respond.
Tanvi, I just want to add to this. Tanvi, I want to add to this. The opposition has been demanding a debate. Tanvi, I just want to add to this 1 second.
Okay.
But the BJP does not want to have any debate on the farm laws because their mouths are sealed. They do not want to hear what the farmers are saying. They do not want to hear what the
that's not fair to say. They don't want to hear. Mahesh Tapase, if you had said this to me, I'm sorry, may I just come in? I got your point. It's not fair to say that the government isn't willing to listen to the farmers anymore. I would have said that and I would have agreed with you and backed you, say, even a month ago. But the government has now had 13 rounds of conversations. The government has suspended the laws for 1.5 years. The government has said that irrespective of what the court says, the court simply put it in suspension pending their own process. Let me finish, please. The court put it in suspension pending the process of the Supreme Court appointed committee. The government by itself after that went and said 1.5 years, we will not touch these laws. Let's have a conversation. The government has been repeatedly saying, let's have conversation, let's make changes. It's not fair to say anymore they're not listening to the voice of the farmer. They heard the voice of the farmer, which is why the farmers were in National Capital on Republic Day holding the rally that went horribly wrong. It's gone horribly wrong. And now we are questioning the government. Why did you allow them inside without proper preparation? It can't work both ways, please. Yes, Dr. Fuad Halim wanted to say something.
Well, number one is that one of the reasons why the opposition is boycotting the presidential address is because the president was supposed to ensure that parliament functions according to its rules and its traditions. In the Rajya Sabha, when the farm bills were passed, there was a call by the opposition members for a division. We know that the Bharatiya Janata Party, after the NDA split, did not have the numbers in the Rajya Sabha, which is why they called for a voice vote. Now, it is the rule in Rajya Sabha that if a division is called for, it is the responsibility of the speaker to ensure that the division is brought about and it is voted upon. This was not the practice in regard to the farm laws, which is why parliamentary practice is also not being heard by the government. It is not the question of only the farmers. It is a question of how parliament functions, how our edifices of democracies are actually functioning under the Narendra Modi regime. This is a serious challenge to a parliamentary, what you call, democratic system. And that is what was the responsibility of the president to oversee. He did not oversee that. So let us be very clear that in our protest, clearly the farmers' issues are there, our democratic practices are there, and both of them have been challenged by the Bharat. Why this opposition protest is registering itself. One has to be very clear that we didn't come about to establish our democratic traditions just out of thin air. The Supreme Court has taken cognizance of it, which is why the Supreme Court is not supporting the government the way the government wants its support from the Supreme Court, and which is why Imbroglio has part and parcel of this government's behavior in murdering democracy. It is a question of laws are there, but murdering democracy is also, which is why Parliament will see this opposition by the opposition members against the presidential interest.
Okay, Tuhin Sinha wants to respond. Go ahead, please.
A lot of absurd and amusing allegations have been made against the government and the BJP. So let me first respond to the Congress's obsession with Deep Sidhu. If you recall, just 1 month ago, this guy had appeared on a show of Barkha Dutt, and he seemed to be, actually glorifying the Bhindranwale. So he is basically a wannabe who has been seen on multiple occasions with multiple people just to get photographed. The BJP has absolutely nothing to do with it.
So why isn't he arrested yet? Enough evidence is available. You keep on adding more and more stringent charges to the existing FIRs without even naming him. Why haven't we named him? Why haven't we arrested him?
It is all under investigation.
What?
But the fact is, he has nothing to do with the BJP. Whatever might want to say, we have pictures of Manmohan Singh with Yasin Malik. Does that mean that Congress is associated with Yasin Malik? I think the Congress needs to be slightly more intelligent in leveling these allegations. To come to the NCP, let me put this on record that whether it is Sharad Pawarji, whether it is Amrinder Singh, or whether it was the Congress manifesto of 202019, all of these are categorically
Yasin Malik didn't campaign for the Congress.
We have been extremely
Yasin Malik never campaigned for the Congress. But Deep Sidhu was campaigning for the Bharatiya Janata Party. He was an active participant in the electoral process of the Bharatiya Janata Party under sanction from the Bharatiya Janata Party High Command.
He's so hungry that you keep barging for other people's time.
Your own.
Get time on the show, right?
Please take responsibility for your own people. Deep Sidhu is a person who's part and parcel of the Bharatiya Janata Party project. He was campaigning for Bharatiya Janata Party candidates. He was with the Prime Minister in the Prime Minister's residence. He was with the Home Minister.
If he decides to accompany Sunny Deol, are we responsible for that?
No, okay. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. I got the point. Fuad Ali, we got the point. Let him respond, please.
If he's getting himself photographed, that's his problem.
Mr. Tuhin Sinha, I think it's very clear to everybody that he was openly campaigning not just for Sunny Deol, but he's done that in the past for the family itself. He's backed Dharmendra when he was in politics and Sunny Deol when he got into politics. That being said, to say what happened in the past means there is a direct connection today is not fair. I get the point. He may have gone rogue since then. He may have gotten more pro-Khalistan views since then. He may have changed his sides 10 times since then, as we know happens very often in politics, or those who want to make it big in politics. My simple question is, why is he not being arrested? What is under investigation? He has done social media lives. He has admitted that he was there. He has put up his own pictures. At that point, when things are happening, you have filed FIR saying we are going to take action against anti-terror law. We are going to take action against sedition. But you are issuing notices to other farmer leaders and not arresting Deep Sidhu. Hence
Not
the
even
allegation
filing
from the
charges.
other side.
Tanvi, not even filing charges. The
Yes.
gentleman, Mr. Sinha, says investigating. Investigating. What do you mean? In spite of having all the evidence, you still investigating. Is it connects with your own? I think it's now it's very clear, Tanvi. The BJP is behaving like a British Raj. How the British partitioned India, to break the unity of the farmers and farmer unions. They sent this guy. They sent BJP workers to the Red Fort. The Red Fort is mortgaged for meager 25 crore. The national symbol today mortgaged for 25 crore. Is it a national shame on your government? Now you're talking about Lal Killa. Lal Killa आपको भेज दिया आपने.
I can't hear either of you. Let's try and bring back some decorum on this. Tuhin Sinha, I will give you time to respond. Let the Congress party finish their point. I will give you time to respond.
My quick point, Tanvi. Why is it still investigating when there's ample evidence? It only shows that BJP and the government and the Ministry of Home Affairs behind instigating this Deep Sidhu, and the BJP workers are gone to the Red Fort, the Lal Killa of national pride, today mortgage for meager 25 crores. We demand why he is not arrested when you filed already FIRs and
you are going ahead with arresting these farmer leaders. You want to break this unity of the farmers. You want to break their bone. You want to weaken them and you want to scuffle them. And then you want to, then there's no negotiation. That's what you're trying to sending the forces now, ample forces deploying. You're dividing the farmers' unions to weaken them. You behave like a British Raj. Behave like my appeal to the Prime Minister to shed his Rajhat arrogance. We appeal to the Prime
Tuhin
Minister
Sinha wants to respond to that.
implement
Mr.
Raj Dharma.
Yasky, you may want to hear this before you go. Yes, Tuhin.
I will allow.
You know, at 1:45 p.m. on 26 January, when a group of farmers had run amok, two of the tractors had virtually, they had tried to ram them on the police. That is when the Congress tweets, never underestimate the power of a republic. Is that a responsible opposition party? Is that what the Congress is reduced to today? Is your only hope of survival stoking anarchy? So I don't think you need to question us on Deep Sidhu. We don't tell you the timing. At least Tariq kab bataoge. You should be out of that mode. We do things when there is ample evidence and we follow the process of law. What makes you think that Deep Sidhu will be spared?
All right, let me also say good evening. Let me also say good evening to the panelists who are joining us right now. And Professor Om Prakash Mishra, spokesperson for the TMC, also with us at this point. But I want to go back to Mr. Satya Prakash, who was trying to make a point in between. We couldn't hear you at that time. Satya Prakash, go ahead, please.
It's very simple. It was an unfortunate day, and whosoever would have created such kind of, violence in Delhi will be behind bars. That should be the commitment of the government. Congress should oblige to the constitutional process and shall not boycott the presidential address at all. And the last point I want to make, that everybody is concerned about farmer. It's not nothing like Congress and BJP. The farmers are, very much the nation of India. The Jai Jawan, Jai Kishan given by the Lal Bahadur Shastri. That was the different kind of Congress those point of time. So we are committed to the betterment of the farmers. Don't create any kind of violence, any kind of thing that create violence inside their agitation. It was a peaceful protest allowed by the police, Delhi police, and commitment was from all unions. The government, like the democratic process, talked 10 times. So Congress must behave responsibly as an opposition party. It is the Congress which is creating a kind of difference among all the unions, that they should not, they are trying to just not resolve the issue. They are trying to create more and more issue. When the government suspended the law, the Supreme Court suspended the law, they should sit in the parliament, rediscuss the law. We are all committed for the betterment of the farmers. This is the promise of every politician of India. That should be.
So tell me then, Mr. Satya Prakash.
Yeah, definitely.
Mr. Satya Prakash, when you say you and the government and the BJP are committed to the betterment of the farmers, then please tell me, why is it today that in Uttar Pradesh the government has ordered vacating all of the protest sites, that in other protest sites, including in Singhu now, roads have been blocked. In some parts, electricity, the farmers claim that their electricity connection has been cut off, that the roads have been blocked, so the food and the water is not coming to the places. Now, are we not indirectly pushing them out when the Supreme Court has said they can protest?
We can see such situation in a different manner. Suppose the government would have certain kind of intelligence report, or after seeing the violence in Delhi, a preemptive measures could be taken by any government. That doesn't mean that any government will suppress the agitation. It is going on since last 65 days, and 10 time talks would have happened so far. That was a peaceful talk every time. Okay, talk fails in democracy, but democracy runs on talks. Democracy doesn't run on violence. Democracy doesn't run on boycott of presidential address, boycotting of parliament. Democracy doesn't mean that. Democracy, given the power to every parliamentarian, let's sit together and discuss every aspect of farmer law or any law, and discuss inside, not only inside parliament, outside of the parliament, there shall be discussion. That means the democracy. That strengthens the democracy. Democracy is not a Hattantra. Democracy is not the Lattantra. Democracy is a Loktantra and Janatantra. Congress forgets such kind of principles of democracy. So together with the 15 parties, it is registering and boycotting the presidential address. That is a constitutionally obligation of the president to address the session of the parliament. It prioritizes and highlights the plan of the coming year. So, when you are responsible, participate in the democratic process. If you are
Well,
irresponsible
I'm just
opposition,
going to
you
Mr.
can fight for
Satyaprakash.
that.
Okay,
Regarding violence,
if you
Tanvi,
will allow
regarding
me,
violence,
Satyaprakash, if
whoever
Mr.
is
Satyaprakash,
guilty
if
of
you will
violence
allow
will be
me,
fined
I've just got some
farmers
fresh statement coming in.
violence.
Please let me read it to our viewers. We are also keeping a very close eye on what is happening at the protest sites right now. It's a developing story. Here is a fresh a statement and a press note that has been released by the Samyukta Kisan Morcha, condemning the action by the Uttar Pradesh police in cutting off basic facilities for the protesting farmers at Ghazipur and attempts to evict the farmers forcibly today. The statement then goes on to say that we strongly condemn the eviction of protesters at Palwal, where the police instigated locals and flared up divisive sentiments. It then goes on to allege that the government's efforts to discredit the ongoing farmers' movement are continuing, and that the nervousness of the government is evident from how it is now installing security forces on all borders. We've told you what's happening on ground, and the farmers, groups are now saying all of this is being done to really get us out of this place and weaken our movement. I'm going to pick out more points from this and keep telling you as we go along. But this is the statement that has just come in. Let me also say good evening to Juhi Singh of the Samajwadi Party and Sarvanan of the DMK. Good evening to you. Juhi Singh,
good evening.
You have an entire budget session where I'm sure the opposition parties will unite to corner the government, to demand a debate. We will have fiery sessions. But why boycott the president's address?
Tanvi, we have been asking for a discussion in the parliament since the ordinance of these three laws were gotten by the government, but the government of the day did not feel it right to engage with the opposition. They didn't need the opposition. We asked for a division of voice vote, which has already been said on your panel, but they insisted on passing it by the voice vote. The rules and the regulations of the parliament were completely ignored by the BJP. We are talking about the fact that the BJP is talking to the farmers. But that's just a facade. Of course, it's democracy. Of course, you talk to the farmers, but every time you go to the table, you insist that this law is good for you, and we are just fine with that. You said that the government had agreed to repeal or just postpone the laws, but all this should have been done earlier. So yes, the boycott of, and everybody, let me say that everybody condemned what happened on 26th, but to completely smear the entire farmers movement by saying that they went to the Red Fort and the entire farmers were involved in, whatever happened there. Appreciating the letter also appreciates the restraint of the Delhi police. So the opposition is being responsible, but really it's on the government of the day to engage with the opposition and to make parliament a platform where things can be discussed. Not when and if you want the opposition symbolically present, you can come and talk about it. Yeah.
Yes, but Sarvanan, the case is already in court about how the laws are passed in the parliament. The laws are actually in suspension currently and are not even being implemented. And the government is having conversations with the farmers. The Supreme Court appointed committee is having conversations with the farmers. So now, why are we pushing in this direction?
We are pushing in this direction to ensure that the government behaves in a proper manner, to ensure that the public opinion is on the right spot, that what the government is not doing right. See, all the panelists, I don't know, it's very funny. They are heaping abuse on the Congress. It is the BJP which was not able to handle this farmers' dispute in a proper way. The farmers' protest has not been handled by the government. It is not a statement by any opposition party. It is the statement made by the Supreme Court. When the farmers wanted the repeal of these farm laws, they said they did not even want to suspend it. It's only the Supreme Court which suspended it. So what is the respect that is given by this government to the farmers? And now they are saying that this is done and the opposition is trying to create. This is not done by the opposition parties. This is done by the farmers of this country. Why the BJP is not respecting the views of the farmers? They say they are the party which will support the farmers. They came to power on the promise that they will double the income of the farmers. But what has happened now? They don't even want to listen to what the farmers are saying. Apart from this, see, the way this government has handled this protest is left much to be desired. The Prime Minister never once spoke with these farmers. Who are supreme in this country? The farmers are the supreme. Why the Prime Minister has not even once reached out to the farmers? That is the question. And we
Well,
have
I don't
also
understand
spoken
what do you
about
mean
the
by the
panelists.
why hasn't the government even once reached out to the farmers? They've had 13 rounds of talks right now.
No, I'm talking about the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, probably the most powerful man in the country, if he had reached out without, an ego, probably the farmers would have listened to the Prime Minister, not to some other ministers. Why this has not happened? And see, you are speaking, the BJP spokesperson, all of them are speaking about constitutional decorum. What happened to the decorum when this bill was passed? The BJP was very clear that it did not have the majority. The bill, when it is well known that even one person asks for a division vote, it has to happen. But that did not happen.
Yes.
So everything is with the BJP. The BJP is responsible for this whole mess. Now
Okay,
they can't
BJP
blame
wants to
anybody,
respond
any
to
other
that.
opposition party.
BJP wants to respond to that.
The fact that not a single bullet was fired despite all the provocation has actually frustrated the opposition because they exactly wanted that. Now, I'm telling you, you have reported on this for 13 rounds of discussion where despite, all the minor standoffish behavior where farmers would not eat with the ministers reached out more, went out of the way to reach out to the farmers. Fortunately, the little takeaway from after 26 is that the antisocial elements and the fly-by-night farmers like Yogendra Yadav and Rakesh Tikayat, who had basically hijacked this movement, are going to be out of it. And I can tell you, even today, a majority of the farmers and a majority of the agricultural unions and farmers unions support these farm laws. It is a handful who have been gathered by the opposition, and some of whom have gone rogue, unfortunately, who have created this menace.
Okay, let me actually also bring in a representative of the TMC, Professor Mishra. Again, I am trying to understand. Yes, there is much to debate. Yes, there is much to discuss, much to question. Opposition parties would like to do that. You didn't get the chance to do it earlier, because the session was cancelled and clubbed together with this round. But how does it make sense to boycott an address by a man who holds a constitutional post like the president? Professor Mishra.
I can't hear you.
Okay, I don't think Professor Mishra is able to hear us. We're going to try and reconnect with him. Juhi Singh wanted to make a point. Go ahead.
Tanvi, this issue could have been resolved if the government had engaged with the farmers and the opposition much earlier. The government does not want to resolve this issue. The 13 rounds of talks, 155 deaths of the farmers, the freezing temperatures, and you are just there smearing the farmers and saying that the entire farmers movement is actually sponsored by let's say we are encouraging the farmers to be on the protest. Try to understand the plight of the farmer. The three laws do not engage with them and do not address their difficulties. That is the issue. And today, the UP government, I thought the BJP said that there were no farmers from UP. There were Punjab and Haryana farmers. And today, the UP government is coming down heavily, cutting out electricity supply, arresting people. How many notices have you sent and how many people have you arrested who were actually available on the media? I mean, it's there on the public platform, who was there on the Red Fort, who was hosting the flag. So why not go after them? Rakesh Tikayat was definitely not there, and you have taken, I think the BJP spokesperson has taken his name. This is not going to solve this issue. This clamping down the use of government machinery to suppress the present protests is really going to not solve the farmers' issue. It's going to come back to haunt the government, and that's what the government has to address. And we are standing by the farmers, and we find this movement legitimate, and they have legitimate concerns, which the government doesn't just have to pretend to hold talks and send out photographs who's eating with whom or discuss it on this serious panel. There are other issues which are more important. Yes, Tanvi.
Professor Mishra wanted to, we couldn't get through to him earlier. Are you able to hear me now, Professor Om Prakash Mishra?
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to respond to what question that you asked. The central government has been most irresponsible, insincere, and in fact, they are trying to muzzle protest. Presently, what is being done in the Uttar Pradesh is horrible. The right to protest is being snatched away. What has happened in Delhi on 26th revolving around Red Fort is condemnable. But let us admit that Deep Sidhu is actually the deep agent of the BJP. He is the deep agent of the establishment. And he was the one who actually led this mob which stormed into Lal Killa. The Lal Killa could not be protected by the Delhi police. So there is a call for the responsibility of Mr. Amit Shah, of Prime Minister. Opposition is very correct in issuing this statement relating to the boycott of the President's address. We know what happened on the last day of the Parliament. Forcibly and completely contrary to parliamentary procedure, Rajya Sabha was browbeaten, I would say, into submitting to something called vote by counting of the voices and so on. That is not regular when the members have asked for a division. Why that when the members are asking for a division, why it was not adhered to? Because the BJP had no majority. So this undemocratic farm laws, this should have been stayed and this should have been repealed. Central government has been completely insensitive to the plight of the farmers. If the farmers are not wanting this, if there is such a huge momentum and movement against the farm laws, what was the need and necessity for insisting on these laws, and what are the interests that are supposed to be protected by the central government? So therefore, I think that all the opposition, we are united, and we will definitely continue our protest. We'll definitely keep on supporting the very just.
So, no, I get the point you're making. I get the point you're making, Professor Mishra, and I will ask BJP or JDU to respond in just a bit. But I just want to say this. Everybody in the opposition is right now harping about the deep conspiracy and the deep links regarding Mr. Sidhu, a certain actor who was present at Red Fort. What explains the violence in other places? What explains the violence that unfolded, near the ITO and went on? What explains the other men who were driving around their tractors in other parts of the national capital, chasing down the cops, ramming through barricades? All of that was not that just one person. So can you now together just absolve the responsibility of all the farmer unions? They themselves are admitting that something obviously went out of control.
Well, it is a settled fact that the farmers actually organized one of the biggest peaceful protests in the history of the world. And so therefore, what actually happened in certain pockets in Delhi was part of a conspiracy. Farmer leaders, they have completely condemned it. We as political parties have condemned it. And we actually can very well prove that it was the BJP henchmen who actually orchestrated the violence. And it was the police who looked the other way when all this was happening as a reaction and counter-reaction. So therefore, it is BJP government, central government and Delhi police which is on the dock, not the opposition.
No, of course, I mean, it's difficult to get the opposition in the dock. The accountability actually comes from the government, and which is why, when it comes to policies and implementation, we question the government. But Tuhin Sinha, would you like to respond to that before I wrap up?
It is rather ironical when TMC talks about violence. But fact is, let me just focus on, this entire allegation against the government that the government has not reached out. Let me tell you that this is a government which is in the reformist. So unless the opposition, unlike the opposition which believes in stalling things for years, sending it to all kinds of committees and finally the bill not coming in for the next 20 years, which is what has actually happened, because if you look at it, for the last 15 years, parties have been clamoring and parties have been talking about these bills, but they were not prepared to table it. So most of these apprehensions, as in why MSP is not a legal provision, only an administrative tool. This has been explained time and again in the 13 rounds of discussions. All of the concerns regarding contractual farming, all of the apprehensions regarding the entry of the private sector have been addressed in a very detailed written note provided to the farmers. And trust me,
presentation.
After all of these, there is no room for concern.
Okay, I'm just going to cut
Yeah,
across
see, Tanvi-
to Ghazipur, where Rakesh Tikait is just, speaking. Let's see what the plan is.
ये डंडा ले रहा था, ठीक है, और डंडा लेके ये कुछ ना कुछ हरकत करता, हमारे संगठन का नहीं है, हमारे संगठन का नहीं। अभी पता करेंगे। ये डंडा ले रहा था यहाँ पे, जो आपके साथ हठार था, जो मीडिया के साथ में बदतमीजी कर रहा था।
मीडिया के साथ कर रहा था। तो ये क्या बीजेपी के आदमी, किसका आदमी है ये? आपको क्या लग रहा है? राकेश जी कौन है वो अभी पता चला?
अभी पता नहीं चला।
There seems to have been some drama that just developed at the Ghazipur site. Remember, the Uttar Pradesh administration has asked the protesters to vacate the site tonight. So we're actually now tracking it very, very closely to see what will happen next. The protesters have said they're not going to leave. But Rakesh Tikait, they're clearly referring to another man who they seem to have caught, who he says was the one who was misbehaving with the media and chasing them with lathis. We're going to go across to Alok in just a bit. Quick short break. Special focus tonight on this big story, the capital siege aftermath. Is this the beginning of the end of the protests? Be right back. Big thank you to all of our panelists.